Hello, folks. This is Mike Haley 7, coming to you on February 28th, 2017. You don't get to see me on a highway very much, do you? Hopefully, everything will go well. So, let's see. Topic. Travel. There's an old movie quote that I loved. I still do. It's from a very cheesy movie called Dune. And the scene is Duke Leto Atreides is talking to his son Paul Atreides about travel, and he says, travel is important. It wakes up something deep inside, something that sleeps and seldom awakens. And then he says, the sleeper must awaken. So I'm thinking that that applies to my life as well. I went to California last week, as you probably know. I was in Anaheim for a few days for a conference. It was all right. I mean, I learned about teaching and learning, which is something I've already studied, so some of it hasn't changed, but some of it has. But I did get a lot of good ideas, and that's the whole point. Being around a different environment with different people, different viewpoints, it can inspire things that you never would have had just doing your old routine. So now I have some ideas for things I want to do in my classes in the future. And I think that's a good thing. It also helps me put a new perspective on my job as the leader of my area. Oops, I'm already in 6th gear. I really think that what I learned this past weekend can help me as a teacher and as an administrator as well. The trouble is selling it. Also travel with California being the place I was at. I did notice some differences. I got on the plane and there was this guy going to Australia, from Raleigh to Australia, I guess. And this guy was talking to Blue Streak about how smart he was and how he could have become a medical doctor at the age of 21 because he graduated high school at 13. But he chose a different path, and so now he builds homes for a living. And it just struck me that he was a braggart and a blowhard. And I've noticed a lot of that. Whenever I go to the West Coast, I notice that kind of mentality. Self-inflation kind of thing. Oh God, I hope I don't get stuck in some of this. So, then he starts going on about how smart he is, and he's talking about Morocco. And I happen to know a little bit about Morocco because I have students from there, and they tell me about it. And he says that Morocco was a colony of Belgium, which is completely untrue. And then when the girl that he's talking to challenges him on it, he then backpedals as well. If not a colony, then it's heavily influenced by Belgium, which is also not true. So the guy was basically full of it. And that was not even in California yet. On the way to California, I see that. Then when I get to the conference, and bless their hearts, these people, but if you made it a drinking game to take a shot of whiskey every time somebody referenced their PhD, you'd be dead in 10 minutes. Maybe they didn't mean to be pedantic and self-important, but that's how they came off to me. And everyone was using the buzzwords: agency, relevance, equity. All the buzzwords were flying around. You had to brush them away from your faces. They were so bad. So I just felt like, get me the hell out of here. I want to go back to my simple little life in North Carolina. So that part of the travel did not please me at all. The other part was the traffic. My friend Sean, he drove from Pasadena to Anaheim. It took him 2 hours to get to me. And then it took us 2 hours to get back to his place. That's how bad the traffic was. Just horrible. And I saw all manner of crazy driving. Not his. He was doing all right. It's just people doing random things, which I guess you can expect anywhere. It just seemed a lot more aggressive there, but then again, I don't go on the highway a whole lot anymore, so maybe I've lost touch with it. And supermarkets in California was like in Hawaii. There's no major restriction on the sale of alcohol in certain places. So you could go to the supermarket and there's tons of booze in one whole huge aisle with all this booze just hanging out there. They got booze at the checkout counter, booze beyond the checkout counter. They got booze at 7-Eleven. Here you have to go to an ABC store, and it's the only place where you can buy booze. If you want to get beer or wine, you have to go to the supermarket. But on Sundays, you can't buy it before 1 p.m. And on Sundays, the ABC is completely closed. So that's different. In Massachusetts, you couldn't buy a beer or wine at a supermarket. You had to go, everything was at a liquor store. Beer, wine, spirits, all at liquor stores only. So that's another difference. Back us off, Ensign. Nice and slow. That big old truck there, I want to make sure I have plenty of room for screw-ups.